Okay, this video is about VPNs on the i-ctrl. So if you click on the VPNs icon here, it will give you the existing configured ones, or you can run the wizard. So this video tutorial is mainly about the wizard. So the first question the wizard asks you, are you creating a server or a client? A server is where you are running the VPN server on the CPE on the i-ctrl device and you wish to connect from, say, your iPhone or your laptop from a remote location. A client is where you wish to have the site connect back to, say, your HQ so that you can send traffic to your HQ over the encrypted link, or they can send traffic down. So in this case we'll just go to the server because that's usually the most often asked for setup. So your next choice is layer 2 or layer 3. The full details are here, but basically, in very brief, layer 2 is like being on the local network. It's like having an Ethernet cable plugged into it. Discovery tools like the SADP discovery tool, the Ubiquity discovery tools, they all work at layer 2. But layer 2, because it has to be a full like Ethernet connection, can be slower. Also, layer 2 won't work on smartphones. It's a limitation of iPhone and Android. You have to use layer 3 for them. So if you're just looking to get remote secure access to view your camera footage, pick layer 3. Only pick layer 2 if you need a discovery tool. You can set up one of each and use them accordingly. Have, say, a layer 3 for your smartphone and a layer 2 for your PC. In this video, I'll go through both of them. So I'm going to do a layer 2 first. So the first thing you got to pick in layer 2 is you got to bridge. So you got to bridge to the LAN side. Now don't pick the primary LAN. I have in this case set up a second LAN port on the device in the ETH2 port, so we're going to bridge to that. You have to have a dedicated port for bridging. If you choose the LAN port, you'll be unable to access any services on the LAN port. So pick a separate port that you're going to be using and click confirm. Now, because you're bridging into that network, you have to get an IP address in that network. So let's say that the IP range of this site is 192.168.1. something, and let's say your DHCP pool starts at 10 and your DHCP pool continues to, say, .100. Now, you can't pick any IPs within that range because other devices could have it. And let's say even in that, you have then, say, 150 as your NVR. So you need to pick a range of IPs away from your static IPs you're using in the local network and away from your DHCP pool. In this case, because we've got like 10.0 to 100 as DHCP pool and our static IPs are up the top, we're going to pick, say, 5, and we're going to go with, you only need about 4, 5, maximum 10 really, because it's only just on a per connection basis, and that basically means that the remote connection will get one of these IP addresses, which makes it like appear like it's on the network. So just go confirm. Next, we're asked about the cipher. Okay, so Windows, Apple, Android. Green ticks where we've tested and confirmed they work without doing lots of extra stuff. As we test these further down, we'll add in additional ticks or exclamation marks. An exclamation mark will be, an amber exclamation mark will just mean that you need to do more stuff. It just won't run straight out of the box. You might have to load extra drivers. But this one here, 128-bit, works on all three out of the box. So go with that unless you have a specific reason to go higher. And then you're asked to confirm it. And it's set up, and we have it set up, this one here. That's layer 2 set up, bump, all set up to work. Obviously haven't pushed it to the device yet, but once we do, it'll be working. So let's do a layer 3 now to demonstrate. Server, layer 3. You've BiNAT, fully routed, and all traffic. Very briefly, just explaining this. All traffic routes everything from your phone, laptop, PC, down into the site. It's going to burn through data on you, so be very careful of that. But this is for where you need to say you have a remote worker and they need to have the office public IP to access specific websites or services, then you'd want to give them a all traffic VPN so everything goes down through it. But it is heavy on data going through your device. If you're using it with a SIM card, you could get stung. Fully routed is where you are only routing certain routes into it, so you might decide to route, say, maybe 5 or 6 routes within the office network or the local LAN network you want to route to it. And then BiNAT. BiNAT is probably the most used for smartphones, and the reason is very simple. If your remote site is on, say, 192.168.1. something, and you're in your friend's house and you try and start your VPN on his Wi-Fi network and he's also on 192.168.1. something, on a traditional VPN setup, they're not going to talk to each other because they're both the same networks. Your phone just doesn't know how to talk to the other network because it thinks it's on that network. So BiNAT allows you to create this kind of like way where we tell your phone that the other network isn't 192.168.1 and we do the mapping within the i-ctrl. So now the phone just thinks it's talking to a different range. The other network thinks it's talking to a different range, and we handle all the cross connection in between the middle. It basically means once that's set up, you get a one-for-one natting. It's all explained here, but basically that's what BiNAT is. BiNAT is typically what you should be using if you're trying to use phones to connect. So when you pick BiNAT and all traffic, it immediately jumps to the cipher selection. Fully routing is the only one that has an intermediate step, so I'll just show you that. So in fully routing, you need to put in, say, the ranges that you want to route. So let's say you want to route that one. You can add more ranges if you want, and then you go to next step. And you're on the cipher selection again, select your cipher, and then confirm. And you basically get your VPN set up, and we have it here with routes. So you have a BiNAT one set up already. Now beside here you can see it say I'm not allowed to download the VPN because I don't have privileges. My user doesn't have privileges to access it. If it did, it would be a little cloud or download arrow. This is to edit, so you can go in and you can edit the VPN settings. All of these are pretty much automatically set up. There's generally no reason for you to kind of go changing it, but it's just there anyway. And okay, now I've just assigned myself a VPN, so I'm able to download a VPN. So I can click on this connection file. Each VPN has its own connection file. That's important. So let's say I click on it, I can download the connection file for this site, and the connection file is imported into the OpenVPN program. If you want the links to the program, just click here and you get the links for each of the 4 types. And then finally there's a tutorial of this here if you want, which takes you through step by step how to set it up. That's it. The VPN is very simple. Once you have the VPN all configured here, you just use the send configuration to push it to the device as normal. Thanks.